Welcome, guys, to another episode. You're probably sitting there wondering, why is this employer not giving me a call back? Why can't I get a second interview? How do I ask my boss for a raise? Should I make a career change in my 30s or my 40s? I hate my job. It's a dead-end job. What do I do? We're going to go over that in this video. Stay tuned. So for those of you out there that are new to the show, in my previous life, I started off as a healthcare recruiter. I would help people out and get them jobs in healthcare. At the time, I was working with a couple hospitals here in New Jersey, actually, to get people to do inpatient and outpatient coding, which is basically coding medical charts. That was my first time ever being in the corporate life. I was young, first corporate job. Didn't think I could do the job. But once I got the job and went through some training, I actually started realizing this is actually pretty cool how it works, because up until that point, the way I was raised, the way you were raised, right? Most of us are taught is you have to go to college, get a degree, and then figure out exactly which direction you want to go, right? Or if you go stateside, federal jobs, right? Pensions, all that stuff. How to get those jobs. What I liked about this new career that I had started when I was young as a recruiter in healthcare is that it showed me how jobs actually work, how to get them, what they pay, who do you need to know, and then the back piece to it is there is an algorithm. So let's get into that a little bit here, just so you guys can have an understanding of how it all ties in today's day and age, because right now, as we speak, I know this, you know this, it is super hard to get a job. It's very competitive. You submit applications online. No one's calling. And if you're lucky to get an interview, you have to sit there and wait. You might not hear anything back. So all that comes into the basics. Let me go back again, like I said, when I first started off, and it's going to tie into that. So when I started off at healthcare recruiter, what I noticed was, after I did my training with this job, is that a majority of large organizations, big banks, big healthcare systems, big IT firms, right? They all use contingent labor. A majority of them use contingent labor. What do I mean by that? They use contract workers, contracts. They're all on contracts. A majority of the staff is. When I figured out how that whole process works, and not realizing that, hey, that family member that I have that works at Citibank for the last 4 years, that's not their job. That's not really who they work for. That is the end client they represent. They actually work for a staffing company. So when I was there doing the training and realizing how this works, and part of my job is to find people on LinkedIn, reach out to them, make phone calls, and get them to be open to submitting their resume to the hiring manager for these types of positions, it all changed after that. Because as we were young and growing up, we were always in the understanding of, hey, you go online, you apply to a job, and you should receive something back, or at least get considered for an interview, right? Or, hey, if you have a family member, they can kind of help you out and get you into that job. Or, hey, all these jobs that are posted on LinkedIn or Indeed, Career Builder, whatever the case may be, they're all legitimate jobs. They're constantly hiring. The pay rates are correct. The job descriptions are correct. Guys, all that was thrown out the window when I started that job. Once I got to understand exactly how the whole process works and who's really in control. Remember, you're applying to jobs. You're hoping to get a phone call, not knowing that the person that has that bridges the gap from the application that you submit to the manager for consideration or HR to at least bring you in for an interview or a phone screen, that person was the person I was before, what I did, my job as a recruiter. Now, some recruiters are in-house recruiters. That's a little bit different, but they still do the same function. A lot of these jobs online, on LinkedIn, Indeed, Career Builder, all these websites, right? You see it posted, a majority of them, on the private sector only, they're all being handed to staffing companies. I worked for one of the largest staffing companies in the country. Then I went into one that was one of the largest in India, because a lot of it's outsourced. South America and India, a lot of it is. So you want to get a job at Citibank? Well, guess what? If it's IT, admin, some financial parts of it, it's all contract. You start off on a contract. If you're good, they have budgeting approved in the future to convert you to a full-time employee on their payroll, meaning you go from staffing company A, working at Citibank, and then you become an employee of Citibank. See the gap there? You can have that opportunity to be converted later. It's not guaranteed. It's all contract. If the project loses budgeting, you're screwed. You get laid off. You get unemployment. That's all you get. It is not the responsibility of the recruiter to find you a job. Once I started that career, it changed. And once I understood what really people are going through and what I went through, it started to affect me. And I don't mean it in a way like really in a bad way. It's just, it's on your mind. You know, when you're raised in a loving home, very conservative, right? You try to help your community, try to help people. You kind of feel like the system let you down. That's how I felt. Like, why is it that all these people are applying to this job and a lot of them qualify and a lot of them are great people and they can actually do the job a lot better than what the manager's looking for? They will never get selected. They'll never get an opportunity. It's sad. It's really, really sad. So when I see it right now, especially now, because now it's getting even more difficult. It's extremely difficult right now. Let's admit it, right? It's really hard to get a job. Submit, nothing's happening. When I see what transpired through my career and the experiences I had and what I saw people go through and seeing it getting worse now than it was before, it's really, really frustrating. Like, it eats me up. That's why I'm right here making this video, so I can help as many people as possible until I'm red in the face. In order for you to have a higher chance of getting that job or career for what a company like Apple, LinkedIn, Amazon, right? Healthcare, Cigna, whatever it may be, Citibank, Bank of America. If you want that opportunity to get that job, IT job, you need to be prepared to make sacrifices. What do I mean by that? Sacrifice number one, you need to fix your resume. The biggest thing out there is a resume. What you might not know, or you might know, all resumes that get submitted to a job description all use a back-end algorithm that are going to take the keyword searches out. For instance, if the job description is looking for someone with Java experience, whether it's front end, back end, whatever it is, right? Whatever that skill set is. Hey, they need SaaS experience, right? They have to have UX design experience, right? I'm going into IT. I can use another example like healthcare. They need to have a registered nurse license, right? With 4 years of experience. The algorithm is going to pull out whatever's in your resume and see if there's a match, number one, and how much of the match is there. So for instance, how many times have you used Java? If you only use Java for 2 years and the job description is looking for someone with 10 years, well, this resume is not going to get selected. So how do you beat that algorithm? How do you beat it? I'm going to explain it. When you take your resume and you format it and adjust it to a job that you're looking to get and apply to that you like, what you need to do is take the job description, look at the keywords, see if you have that experience. If you don't, but you have an understanding of it, put it in your resume. If you've been using, let's say, Java for the last 2 years, but then you went to a job right after that's completely different, don't put that there. Take it out. Leave the Java part open-ended, present. You have to do whatever you have to do to get selected for the job. Why is that? Because it's competitive. You can do the job. You have the experience. It's the opportunity for you to grow, build a family, make more money. It's all going to come down to that resume. I would always sit there and format resumes and add things to resumes for people that I wanted to help get them a job or give their chances of getting the job higher, especially if I was in contact directly with the manager. Why? Because a resume is not going to tell you the whole story. It's just going to give you something to start with. There's people out there that cannot make a resume to save their life. And I was one of them. I was one of them. I remember that. Clear as day. But I had the experience. I was the one that was qualified, right? So you might not know how to format a resume. You might not know how to edit your resume. You might not know what keywords to put in for a specific skill set or a job that you're applying for, right? You might not know that. You might not be good at that, but you need to go out there and find someone or videos online that can show you how to do it. You're more than welcome to DM me, but it's there. The information's there. It's the only way it's going to work. That's the first step you need to format the resume. Make sure it's matching to the job description you're applying for. And once you've accomplished that piece, which you might have to readjust from job to job, if you're looking at multiple skill sets, right? If you're in healthcare, it's a little bit different because it's one-sided. If you're in IT, but maybe you came out of logistics, maybe you were a truck driver, maybe you were doing construction, but maybe now you want to go into being an inspector, maybe go around and be an estimator. You need to readjust those job descriptions that you're seeing online and your resume to match. It's okay to lie a little bit. We all have to do something, right? We all start from nothing. But try to line them up, format the resume, and get the job description to mimic the most amount of keywords you have in your resume to be selected. The next piece to that is you have to go on LinkedIn. Everything is online, guys. I can't stress this enough. The other day I was helping my dad out. By the way, the guy is literally 60-something years old, and this is the first time he's ever made a LinkedIn. And guess what? I made his LinkedIn account for him, and a couple weeks later, he's got multiple interviews. Why is that? Well, because his son, like me, I was fortunate to have that experience in the past. So I utilized those skills. I know LinkedIn is super important. You need to at least make a profile to start. So you can apply to jobs, number one. Recruiters can see who you are. You can connect with people, network. Managers see your profile, see if there's anything in common. Did you go to the same school? Maybe you have a friend, whatever the case may be. Everything's online. LinkedIn is your profile. It's your public profile of who you are, your career, your background. I can't stress that enough. Make sure you make a LinkedIn account, even if you're applying on Indeed. It's okay because when you're on Indeed, some of these jobs connect to LinkedIn, guys. They'll connect to LinkedIn and say, hey, we'll autofill the application from your LinkedIn account. So you don't have to type anything. Just click, and the resume gets transferred right over. So now that you know the formatting, the LinkedIn, what's the next piece? The next piece is join groups, LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups. Connect with people. Find people that have similar backgrounds of what you're looking to get into. For healthcare, stick to healthcare. If it's IT, stick to IT. Maybe you're doing a transition, you were in a field that you hated, you're going into a new field, that's okay too, but you want to start adding these people, right? You want to join groups, especially on LinkedIn. Go on Facebook. See who you have that is in your friends' network that has that kind of skill set or background. Reach out to them. Get an understanding of what it takes. Where do you start, right? Watch videos on YouTube. YouTube gives you everything. Everything. Think about it. YouTube gives you everything that you need. Why not take advantage of it? Now that you know that, number one, you got to format the resume. Number two, build a LinkedIn account. Number three, network as much as you can and connect with people. I would say after that, the 4, 5, 6, and 10 other steps, it's going to really actually come down to you actually getting selected for the interview and then you actually presenting yourself. Because remember, if you follow all these steps in the beginning, which are very, very easy steps to follow, it does take time. But the most important one here, okay, is when you, after you make the LinkedIn account, which is the connecting, you need to connect with recruiters. Go and add them as friends. Send them a message. Hey, my name is Jerry. I'm a UX designer, or hey, I'm a general contractor, or I'm a laborer with this skill set. I'm looking for this opportunity. If you have anything, please let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. Send them a message. Get personal. Connect. See if you have something in common with these people. That's the way you're going to get these jobs. They're going to be able to help you. Remember, the recruiter gets paid. I only got paid if I got you the job. And my job is to get you the job. I'm here to help you set up your resume, right? Make sure your LinkedIn account is good to go. Prep you for the interview because I had access to the questions that the manager is going to ask you. So I know the answers already. That's why you want to connect with recruiters. They control it. They have everything at their fingertips. Do they make the final decision whether you should be hired or not? No, they don't. Because the hiring manager that you're interviewing with, or multiple interviews with different managers, or a VP or an executive, that final person will make that decision, or a group will make a decision. But guess what? That recruiter knows exactly what they're looking for. So why not take advantage? It's a win-win situation for you and the recruiter. Remember, that's how we got paid. And there's a lot of money at stake to getting paid, especially on these big jobs, because it's a bill rate. I'm going to go over that in a second, but take advantage, guys. It's all about who you know, what you stand for as far as your background, and what you're willing to do to get that job. Because if you have all those 3 pieces in place, I promise you, you will get the job. Go add me on LinkedIn if you like. If you're not sure which companies to join, go on Google, type in top staffing companies. Collabra, the Judge Group, AIC. There's a bunch of them. Tech Systems. When you go on their websites, you'll see all the job openings they have. You can see all the clients they represent. Financial services, healthcare, logistics, pharma, they're all there. Everything's there. Some specialize more in others, some don't. Some are general, some are construction-based. Act Talent is a great one, right? That does engineering, water services, right? If you're looking to go that route. If you're going to look IT, you go to Tech Systems, Collabor, or whatever, they have the jobs posted there. Once you look at the jobs, you type in the name in LinkedIn, it shows you all the recruiters. You can see which recruiter has what and their job postings. It's simple. Hey, John, I'm connecting with you. I noticed you posted a job for blah, 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 blah. Here's my resume. Please let me know if you need anything else. Simple. I'm interested, right? One thing I do want to add here is that if you decide to go down the route of doing a majority of contract work, or if you're kind of have no choice, but it is a contract to start, and it's obviously through a staffing company, which 90% of them are, my recommendation is when you see the job description posted, and let's just say it says $25 an hour, 6-month contract with possible extension, could go longer, could convert. What I want you guys to know is, the little secret is, it's not paying $25. It actually could pay more. There's a bill rate in between. What do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. Bank ABC wants to hire an executive assistant for a VP. They're willing to pay $50 an hour for that person. $50 an hour on a contract to start, to see if they like them or not. And if they do, they will hire them 12 months later and convert them. So they're willing to pay $50 an hour. They go out to the staffing companies or HR. Some of them use MSPs. I'm not going to get specifics. I'm breaking all that stuff down, but I'm just going to do it in very easy terms here. So ABC Bank is willing to pay $50. They reach out, staffing company, the contractors, and say, this is what I'm looking for. Please find me people, send them over so I can interview them. What you might not realize is the end client is willing to pay $50, which you're not going to know that. But this company, staffing company, is only going to pay you $35. And you would say, well, why would they do that? Because they're in business for profit. They have to make a spread. You're on their W-2. There's costs added to W-2, whether it's medical insurance, payroll taxes, etc., etc. They have to make a spread. Now the question becomes, how much of a spread is fair? Well, I would say if it's posted at $25 an hour, do not be afraid to ask for 30. If you're good, they selected you, your resume is great, you have the experience, why not ask for more money? What's the worst they could say? No. Give it a shot. There is nothing wrong with holding yourself to a higher standard when it comes to work. Think about it. No one's going to give you a raise if you don't ask for it. Maybe if you're in a union or something, they might give you a raise once every year for 25 cents. Why not ask for it? You go to work every day. You work hard. You're trying to buy a house one day, pay bills, go on vacation, take care of your family, start a family. Go ask them for a raise. Don't be afraid. It's the same thing as a contractor. Don't be afraid to ask the staffing company, hey, I started this project. You said it's 12 months. We're paying $25 an hour. It's been now 14 months. They need us to stay another 12 months. Hey, I need $5 more an hour. Make it happen. The money's there. You're never going to know how much the main client or end client paid the staffing company, the hourly rate. You'll never know how much that is. You're just never going to know. It's never disclosed. The only way you're going to know is if you read the contract, but you don't have access to the contract. So like I said, don't be afraid to look at the job description and say, man, this job, they're asking for a lot of experience in this, and that, and it's like kind of overwhelming. It feels like they're looking for this, but they kind of want another person like this, and they want to put it together. Guys, that's what 99% of these job descriptions are. Think about it. If you're the hiring manager, you want to get the best of the best for the lowest price as possible, right? It saves you money, right? It's part of your incentive program. Save the company money, get the work done. Well, like I said, don't be afraid when you see you see that job description becoming two job descriptions becoming one, asking for all these skills and this amount of experience, but they're only willing to pay basically minimum wage for it. And it's a 6-month contract or 2-year project, or it's a direct hire, or it's whatever it is. Don't be afraid to negotiate. It's your money. It's your opportunity. The worst they could say is no. I remember clearly this one contractor that I had working for me. By the way, when I was representing the bank, I had 82 employees that reported to me every single day. 82 employees. And I had 12 recruiters under me. I had managed the entire account. 82 different personalities I had to deal with. And I remember this one guy who was a good guy. He literally reached out to me and said, Jerry, I've been with you for a while, and I'm making some personal things, and I really can use the raise. You know, I'm loyal, blah, blah, blah. I never took a day off. And I remember when I went back to go to the end client to get more money from them, they said no, they couldn't do it. So I'm sitting there for a couple days, and I'm going through it, and I'm trying to figure out what's going to work for him because he might leave, right? This is the opportunity for him to either stay or make a move to another company, right? To another project. I believe at the time, I think he was going to go consider working for Apple because Apple uses contractors on the IT side. And I remember saying to myself, well, shit, I'm making money off of this guy every hour he works. I went to my boss and said, I'm going to take all my commission off for this guy, and I want to give him the difference. And I remember that day, like he looked at me like I'm crazy. Like, why would you do that? But I knew at the end of the day, my goals long-term were not that to just make all that money at that time. Granted, I needed it to live, but I just really wanted to help. I just wanted to help him, but I felt bad, because it's true. The guy literally did the best he could, right? He deserved it. He really deserved it. And he didn't understand how the bill rate process works. And after we gave it to him, or after I released it and they released it for me and he started getting it, the guy thanked me forever. Like, we're still in contact till today. He'll reach out to me and see if I have any other projects to work on. Like, you'll be surprised who you're going to run into when it comes to building relationships. That's why I always say it's good to be a good person, give back, do the best you can, whether it's making these YouTube videos or not, or, doing podcasts, whatever the case may be. Try your best to help someone out. That is why it's so important to make sure you have those 3 things in place when it comes to trying to get a job, because it's hard. You need that resume formatted. You need that LinkedIn account set up. You need to connect with people. That's how it works. If not, your resume goes into that cyclone of death of no selection, right? It just sits there. Nobody's picking it up. No one's going to know it's there, right? It's so weird how that whole process works, but that's the world we live in. That's how it works. So don't be afraid to ask for money. For those of you out there that might like your job, that might be happy, maybe you work for the state, right? You have your job, you've been there for the last 5 years, you're looking to retire, you have good benefits, you're not going to be rich, but you're okay, right? You have a good life, you live comfortable, right? No stress, you need the benefits, you're helping your family, right? Why not go get a raise? Why not try and ask for a raise? Oh, they don't have budget approved. Maybe they don't. But when you start knocking on doors, because you've been there for some time, and you ask the questions, and they see your work ethic, don't be afraid to ask. Think about it. You deserve it. You show up every day. You work your ass off. You go above and beyond. Why not ask for a raise? Some of you out there need to like overcome that fear and make a little bit of yourself almost like I don't even know, just have thick skin. You need to be able to go to someone or people or your boss or whatever, whoever's in charge, and be able to tell them, hey, listen, I need a raise. You don't have to go into specifics. Make it simple and brief. I need a raise. I've been here since blah, 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 blah. I've accomplished blah, 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 blah. I overshot my target by blah, 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 blah. Simple. Why? Why not ask? Inflation's up. Food cost is up. Housing's up. Right? It's part of the process. Don't be afraid to go out there and ask for a raise. Just don't be afraid. Like I said, guys, I've done the recruiting sales background for a long time. I did almost about 6 years, and I saw a lot. I experienced a lot. A lot of it was great, but some of the stuff still irks me till today. And this is the only reason why I decided to make the show, share my experiences, try to help some people out there, because we all want the same thing in life. You want to be successful. I want to be successful, right? Whatever version or definition that is. In order to do that, we all have to work. We all have to wake up in the morning. We all have the same 24 hours. So why not take advantage, right? Why not go out there and learn? Why not take advantage of YouTube? YouTube's the best thing ever. I'm telling you right now. Like, it's the best thing ever. You can learn how to like swing a hammer, put a screw into a wall, and learn how to build business credit or get a job or, whatever it is. It's all here on YouTube. That's the only reason why I'm making this. I want to help as many people as possible. Like I said, I have experience in a couple fields because I've made changes in my life. I hope this is helpful. And until then, good luck with your search. Good luck with your job career. Good luck getting a raise. Enjoy the holidays, folks. God bless.